Good morning, students. In this video, we are going to study about effects of economic development on resources and environment. Means because of this development, what all harm has been provided or has been induced to our environment. So, let's study about different damages which is caused because of this economic development. The first one is depletion of natural resources. You know that in our, you can say, economy, industrial development is taking place. And because of industrial development, there is a demand for raw materials as they need to produce goods and services. And as there is the need for raw materials, what they are doing? They are depleting our natural resources to fulfill the demand of the people. Secondly, we can say that demand for the agricultural land have also increased. Why? Because as the population increases, we know that people need agricultural products. So they are dependent on agricultural land, and that is why it is also you can say causing deforestation. They are converting forest land into agricultural land, and because of this deforestation is taking place. So this is how the natural resources are being depleted. First, for producing goods and services, they are extracting raw materials excessively from the environment. And secondly, because of the growth of population or because of the population growth, there is a demand for agricultural land because they need agricultural producers to fulfill their basic necessities of life. And to fulfill the basic necessities of life, these forestry lands are converted into agricultural lands. Next is water pollution. You know that water pollution, like because of industrialization is the main cause of the water pollution, because what industries do, they discharge their polluted waters, you can say, to the rivers, and rivers water gets contaminated because of this industrial waste. Like whatever heavy metals they are using, whatever chemicals they are using, they are discharged into river, and because of this water pollution is taking place. And this polluted water is not suitable for either drinking, bathing or washing purpose, and it also creates several harmful diseases like diarrhea, cholera, and so on. So in this way, because of industrialization, our quality of water is being deteriorated. Okay, and we do not have access to clean water. Next is air pollution. Air pollution means your whatever like smokes or extra chemicals are being discharged from the chimneys of the factories. You know that because of the economic growth, air pollution has increased in the urban areas. The biggest example in front of you all is Delhi. You can see the air is so polluted that you cannot see the visible sky. So why this happens? Because of the gaseous emissions from the industries, from the thermal power plants, from automobiles, as well as domestic combustion. And these gaseous emissions pollutes our air, because we do not get fresh oxygen to breathe. All the carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfuric oxide, hydrocarbons, and other particles mix with our air, and it makes it unsuitable for breathing. And it also causes several respiratory diseases, like you can say asthma and all, and also it causes cancer. Other source of air pollution is your transportation. Because of transport, the gases which are emitted from the transports are also one of the major reasons for this air pollution. Next is solid and hazardous waste. We know that from our household only we discharge many organic waste, like food scraps, vegetables, like industry also discharges plastics, packaging materials, metals, oil spills, thermocols, and these all. From agricultural we have silt, you can say farm discharges, poultries and all. So these are disposed of in our land, and because of this it is spreading, you can say, serious problems, serious diseases, and this is very harmful for human being. Next is soil erosion. You know that, so the upper layer, the top soil of the uh, earth's surface is getting eroded because of the heavy rain. If there is a large loss of the top soil, then this will lead to land erosion, and if land erosion occurs, vegetation is not possible. Next is deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down of trees. As we have already studied, this is taking place because of economic development, and if the trees are cut off, they are considered to be as the lungs of the earth, and if these lungs are cut off, we will not get fresh oxygen to breathe. This will be very problematic situation for each and every one. Now, what is the impact? Deforestation will lead to soil erosion. Soil erosion will, you can say, occur because of floods and loss of crops. Secondly, it will change the hydrological cycle, because the you can say, because of trees only we get rainfall, and because of this, if we cut down the trees, we won't get proper rainfall. The amount of rainfall will decrease, as well as deforestation also leads to greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, because plants are cut off and they do not produce oxygen, and the amount of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide are increasing in the environment, thus creating global warming. Next is use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Now, to increase the productivity, high yielding variety of seeds are used, and because of this they are using chemical fertilizers and pesticides to increase the productivity, and this ultimately, you can say, prove to be as the health hazard for the people, because as they use pesticides and chemicals, that gets seeped into the fruits or into the vegetables, and that is ultimately consumed by us. So ultimately we are consuming chemicals. Secondly, as they do not think before using these chemical fertilizers and pesticides, this causes huge damage to the wildlife and the birds in the environment. Next is loss of biodiversity. You know that millions and millions of species are helpful in maintaining the ecological balance on earth, and you know that these biological diversity provides various products like food, fiber, medicine and raw materials for industrial production. But because nowadays we are unable to find these species, this is a huge loss for the environment. This is a huge loss for even the normal people. Is it clear? For example, coastal mangroves. Okay, these are this you can say coastal mangroves are used, or you can say cleared for aquatic sports, and for the mangroves are being cleared off to make luxury resorts. This is creating a threat to the environment. Last is the greenhouse effect, or you can say global warming. What do you mean by global warming? Global warming refers to the increase in the average temperature of the earth, resulting from emission of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, which traps the heat of the sun. Because of the increase in carbon dioxide, the you can say the heat from the sun is being trapped in the atmosphere, and this is creating climatic change in our environment. Is it clear? So these are the different damages which are caused due to the economical development in our country. In our next class, we'll study about the serious effects of global warming on the environment. Is it clear? That's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.